Hey watch fans, Brad from Brent Miller Jewelers in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. And today I have for us two Tag Heuer Carrera Chronograph models. And really it's a simple this or that, pick your poison. Do you prefer this model in the blue dial configuration or do you like it in the black? Admittedly, this blue dial is a very dark blue. Hopefully you can see a difference here. I will kind of turn my light off at some point in the video too to just see if the lighting makes a difference on seeing these two dial colors. But go over a couple things here quick. Let's go over the case dimensions of this watch. So I measured this watch a little bit above the crown here, diagonally across, so a little above the 3 to a little below the 9 at 41.9 millimeters. So I'm going to go with a 42 millimeter watch as it's listed. 14.4 millimeters thick. We have 48.4 millimeters from lug tip to lug tip. We have a 22 millimeter lug width, tapering to 19.6 at this last link. And that stays true as this really is almost like an integrated deployment clasp here, so the size was the same. So 22 millimeters tapering to about 20, so a small taper. We do have an exhibition case back showcasing what I think is one of the better looking movements. I'm a huge fan of the Heuer O2 movement. I like how they skeletonize the rotor, and I just think it looks aesthetically pleasing. On this one here, I thought at first maybe it was finished in some type of gold, but I did not see that listed anywhere. So I just think it is a plated color, but nonetheless, I think it looks great. Just kind of showcases the rotor a little bit. And again, just a fan of that movement. We have an 80-hour power reserve, and we also have a signed non-screw down crown. There you go. Non-screw down crown, offering 100 meters of water resistance. So again, I think the overall the watch looks great. Let's talk about the dial a little bit. Again, this is the blue dial. You have, at first glance, what looks like a bicompass layout with only the two sub dials. However, at the 6 o'clock position here, you have your date window, which is pretty nicely framed. You do have a white date window on this blue model compared to a color matched black date wheel on the black. Personally, I prefer the color match, so I'd like to see a blue here, but won't be too picky. But above that, you have a crosshair pattern, sort of, and that is a constantly running seconds hand. Normally, you don't see that on chronographs at the 6 o'clock position. Normally, you see it at the 3 or the 9, at least on most chronographs, mechanical chronographs. So at the 6 o'clock position, I really like it there and think it lends to a really balanced look. Very nice, clean aesthetic on this dial. So well done, Tag. I think it looks great. I'm a fan of this watch overall. Chronographs sometimes can get a little busy, and this just really just keeps it really legible and clean. Take a look at the chronograph function. I'm gonna turn this other light off to see if we can get the blue to show a little different than the black dial here. Again, both great looking watches. I did weigh them, came in at 168.8 grams, so just under 170 grams. Retail price on these is $5,500. And again, I think they look good. I think again, I just like the clean aesthetic. I like how the small second hand here is, I won't say hidden, but at first glance you really don't know it's there unless you kind of study the dial and look for it. So let me show you how these look on my 6 3/4 inch wrist. Failed to mention the bracelet is also a polished, but it's not a straight polished center link. As you can see, it's almost every other, which I actually like the look of that quite a bit. I'm not always a huge fan of polished center links, but I like the way this is done on this model. And the blue dial.